Alrighty, how's it going, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome to the show, Serving Nerve, where we talk about whatever we want, and we're just gonna go through more of these videos and just get it going. Check out more, body positivity cringe and just see what people are talking about these days. So yeah, let's just get into it.
Something that I don't think people understand about being fat is like the ways in which this shows up in date. Cause I get a lot of comments here from incel dude, bro, gym, basement dwelling, whatever. You know the type, trolls. And they're always like, well, no one would ever have sex with you. No one would ever date you. And that's not quite true. It's more like you're just very aware that your options are limited, or that the ways in which you get approached are limited, or that like the things that are available to you more readily are limited. And I've been in a relationship for 4 years, but I still experience a lot of this because you can just feel that like you are not seen as valuable in the dating space. I know people.
Wait, what? I don't know what people are into these days, but I thought if you were in a relationship, you don't have to worry about being in the dating space. Yo, bro, what? I'm sorry, I'm confused as fuck. I'm weird, so, I am also in that same neck of the woods where it's dating space-wise, I appeal to a very particular crowd, and a lot of the time, it's not a crowd that will find me desirable. Maybe it's because I haven't really gone out there much, but there are things that I say and do, and I think you can tell on this channel that are not really the sexiest things. You hear what I say. I talk about philosophy at times, or I'll, give some perspective on something, and then I'll just dance around to Five Nights at Freddy's in a top hat. It's kind of a boner killer, and yeah, everybody likes somebody who can cook, but at the end of the day, that's just about it, man. I'm not that special. So, I don't mean to, go off about my own things, but it's I don't know what you're talking about. You don't have to worry if you're in a relationship. Do you have to worry about, the dating? I don't understand. I'm confused. And also, I think it's pretty normal for a lot of people. Depending on your personality and all that stuff, depending on the way you look. Some people are considered, uglier or prettier than other people, there is a lot of physical elements to it, but the reality is, your personality is what's gonna stick. I'm just confused about what is, what do you mean? I thought you were in a relationship.
People say marketplace, and that feels dehumanizing, but to a point, it's true. More than anything, what it is an awareness that your stock is low, and that a lot of women have a power in having higher stock, I guess, that they can use to, get things for free or get men to do things for them. I am aware of that even as somebody who is in a relationship. I am not looking for love. I have love. I am not necessarily looking for any of those other things either. I'm just
okay, so they're not in the dating scheme. They're in a relationship. And also, I do agree actually in some regards. The prettier you are, also, older sister was telling me hey man, you go to a bar with a wedding band on, there are gonna be a lot of guys trying to buy you drinks. And she's a pretty girl, and she's already telling them I'm married or I'm engaged. And it's guys will just try and there's buy her drinks or come on to her because literally it's just because it's some weird thing. It's some kind of, maybe maybe some people find that a turn on. I don't know. But there's things like that. Also, I've never had a guy buy a drink for me. Oh wait, I have. It's usually because we all work in the restaurant industry and everybody is drunk and high all the time. And, everybody's literally just funneling alcohol into their mouths to try and cope with the absolute dismay and depression of the circumstances and the fact that it's a miserable job and that nobody likes it and that it's so high stress that you try and dull the circumstances with ethanol, usually. And that's why, so many people in that industry have criminal records and DUIs, too. It's just, dude, you know what? Preaching the choir. But, yeah, I've never had, somebody I think really romantically buy me a drink, but I could be incorrect. It depends on the circumstances. I don't know, man.
Aware that they're not available to me and that is one way in which my body does limit me. And I think when you're a smaller fat person, you may be even more aware of this because it seems weird when your size does not exclude you from a lot of other things in life, that it would still exclude you from that. If you can do all these things, you can fit in airplane seats, you can travel, you can go on amusement park rides and have fun that way. If you are not big enough that your size isn't preventing you from doing a lot of things, it can certainly be something that feels like a sticking place. And that has very much been my experience as a small fat person for my whole life. And I have realized as I've gotten older that like I actually have so much privilege in that this is the main way that it has showed up. And the weird thing is, being fat doesn't preclude you from finding love or a relationship or getting married. It doesn't preclude you from having good sex or like exploring sexuality, but you are still probably materially going to get approached less than your thin friends. You are still going to have the awareness that there are a lot of people out there who won't date you or won't date you openly because of your size.
I'm not trying to laugh, but in the last video, I'm remembering that we had somebody who was literally saying like how smaller fat people are taking over the body positivity and plus size community, and it was like kind of a oppression Olympics-esque. And then there's this woman who's a smaller fat person saying the opposite, and that it's harder as a smaller fat person in this regard, but then they're privileged anyways in these other regards. It's just so much. It's like, yo, it's like dick measuring but with your waistline. It's fucking hilarious. I'm so sorry. I'm not trying to make fun of this person because I understand like their perspective, but it's just so like, it's so fucking funny and cringy as shit. And honestly, I don't know, like, I honestly just don't know what's going on anymore, my dudes.
We're still going to witness conversations where people talk about how dating somebody who looks like you or going on a date with someone who looks like you is their worst fear, and they find it personally insulting. And that's just a lot for the ego to take, no matter how much other privilege you have or how many aspects of it you do still have access to. There is like such an ego wound in me from like years of this that being in a relationship, no matter how happy and successful, like does not take that away. The older I get, the more I realize these differences are kind of subtle, and that they are like not necessarily that impactful on your material reality and like day-to-day life and happiness, but it's an ego wound and it hurts and it feels like shit. And
so it's like, this definitely sounds like, somebody hurt you and you're insecure about the circumstances. But if you're in a relationship, like, you definitely need to not let that hinder. Like, I feel like, so when I have past experiences, I don't want them to, like, negatively affect my future input and output. I want them to give me perspective and understanding of what I can do better in the future. But I don't want them to impair my perception of other people and, like, new circumstances. If, say, like, I end up in a bad relationship, which I've been in, and then I approach a new one, and then I have the same idea that it'll be like the last relationship or something. Like, I don't know, man. I might be misinterpreting this a bit, but this is a little all over the place, and I'm really unversed with relationships, so, it's probably a killer of logic right there. But, like, if you got hurt in the past, or you have, like, a bruised ego or whatever, then just bite the bullet and deal with it and just refresh. Like, if you're in a good relationship, too, it's like there's no concern,
Then you're still subject to all the treatment that single people get in the world of like, why can't you find someone? And like, they're out there, just keep looking. And it feels so hopeless because you're told over and over again, and your life experiences very possibly support that you are not a desirable person to be with. But think about it this way. None of this would be a big deal if we didn't think about conventional attractiveness and desirability as being so central to a person's value, that like women literally measure their value off of that, and feeling like you don't have the thing that's like the number one source of value and power for women.
You know what, dude? I'm sorry, like, these little things are popping up. Anyways, yeah, but, like, okay, to be fair, like, yeah, looking good's important initially, but if you have a crap personality, that's what's gonna really drive everybody away from you at the end. And it's so ironic that, like, dude, I'm, like, no better. Like, I have, like, I literally am the worst when it comes to this kind of thing. I've got very little dating experience and relationships and all this stuff. So I'm looking at this going like, oh, I've also dealt with that. Maybe this is advice I should take for the future so that I can become the ultimate lover. But I was sitting here going like, I don't know, man. Just don't be so insecure. That is one thing, is confidence is key. Confidence is key, and there's always grace in the future. Like, a lot of circumstances can be forgiven and moved past. The only thing that you have to worry about is, like, holding a grudge against yourself. Like, everybody moves on. Everybody moves on from other people, but they oftentimes have trouble moving on from the things they've done to themselves or the perceptions that they have regarding their own, their own selves. So that's the one thing you're going to want to focus on. It's on your own self-development and the perception you have of yourself, not of others. Okay, this is all like petty stuff so far. The thing that most people are concerned about is people who glorify obesity in the wake of a health-related risk, and then they're like, oh, well, it's actually healthy to be obese, or losing weight is impossible, or whatever. That's the main thing I hear people arguing about. The dating scene is a little bit on the side. Not looking good. It's like, it's subjective. But you know what isn't subjective is your internal organs failing, or you having a heart attack at the age of 45. Let me just read this off to you. I was taught that being thin and able-bodied is the most important thing to be. It's what makes me feel worthy and how I measure the worth of others. And instead of dismantling that, I'm making fat people my enemy. It's easier to be hateful than convince myself there's more to life than chasing conventional beauty standards. So this is all on the basis of physicality. This person is commenting mainly on physicality. And, you know, there's another element to this, which is your physical health. I know that's technically physicality, but, you know, regarding your health, that's a big concern when it comes to the health at every size movement, body positivity community, and the fat acceptance movement. That's being bypassed in this, but from this perspective, everything this person is listing off is incredibly subjective. They're going to have to just take the L if somebody doesn't want to be with them or wants to be with them, or if they have an argument with somebody on the basis of looks or whatever. Or whatever. The biggest thing I have a concern about is people who like associate with these movements and then they get completely absorbed, or the health concerns with this, like the health at every size movement, or, you know, something else. I don't know. People say stupid things and do weird things. Physical objectification and stuff like that is also a concern of mine. But regarding this, it's like, this is not like as big of a focus that people have as, like, you know, the other issues that people portray when it comes to the health at every size movement or body positivity or fat acceptance. When your favorite plus-sized creator starts Ozempic. Dude, like, they're trying to, like, lose weight and probably be healthy or look more aesthetically desirable in society. Like, this is why I don't believe in the idea of blindly following people, or, you know, I'm sorry, I'm not making that much sense. This is why I don't like the idea of, like, associating with, like, you should never look at, like, YouTubers or creators or models or celebrities or whatever as, like, a good martyr in your life or, like, goals. This is why it's like you're gonna be disappointed at some point, but dude, they're trying to be healthy. It just doesn't make that much sense. It literally just, I just don't get it. They're literally just living their lives and trying to be, like, healthy or losing weight. I don't know what I feel about Ozempic. I'm sure there's a lot of issues with Ozempic, but I don't know. I've never looked into it. The only thing I have to say is that it's like, get over it, I guess. Like, why does it matter? People are gonna do what they want, do what they do, so you should only focus on you.
Fat people doing things, ba-da-da-da. Fat people doing things. I film all the shit because there's not enough representation of fat people doing.
We should make a rhyme as well about recording videos. Let me think about this for like 30 seconds. I might be weird and I might be white trash. I go on the internet just to be brash. And at the end of the day, OBS will crash because I don't ever smash. Do-do-do-do-do-do-do-do-do. I hate myself. Anyways, well, now we're done. I love how it's like this person's actually going out and doing things, and then I'm here in my bedroom making fun of everyone and everything, including myself, being mortal swine. I'm so cringy.
Go hand in hand. This culture of ableism that we have makes people feel entitled to other people's bodies and makes people feel like they can look at and judge and pick apart and know you better than you know you.
I believe that judgment is very important in a healthy society, and I think that we all should judge each other all the time for everything, fat or small, big or tall. The main thing is what you're saying. People should judge you for everything. They can judge away, but they'll judge themselves the most, so it doesn't matter. I think judgment is very healthy for people. You just don't want to let people's judgments of you affect you negatively. Ableism is like discrimination that comes in favor of able-bodied people by definition, and I can agree that ableism is a thing on Earth that we as humans do or have done in the past, even though nowadays we're like trying to kind of break from that, especially in the Western world. But I think it mainly has hit people who are like victims of burns, deformities, limb loss, actually like having disabilities, like physical disabilities. I think that there's more ableism that comes and hits those people than it does a fat person who can choose to take the path that they choose to take. Maybe that's my own perception. Technically, somebody can still be ableist to you, I guess, but I just think that people in the fat body positive community, the fat acceptance community, the haze community, they kind of weaponize the concept of ableism a little bit too much. I don't know. But if that's your perspective, it's your perspective. I just think that it's more on the basis of like, if you have like a lost limb, an actual physical disability, things like that. I think that ableism is much more brash, unforgiving, and inconsiderate. But saying that, it does kind of belittle the individual who's, saying ableism stuff. But I don't even know what the ableism would consist of. Like, I don't know, man. Judgment is a thing. Judgment is life. Life is judgment. Live it, love it, do it.
And skinny people are like, I can barely ever find anything in my size. We should just respond the same way they do to us. Maybe you're not looking hard enough. My thrift store has a surplus of skinny clothes. Honestly, maybe gaining some weight would make it easier to find things.
You know what's crazy?
Yeah, say it. Say it. Who cares? Like, it's true. Like, finding clothing is hard. Listen, man, I'm lucky that I live in boxer shorts and t-shirts that are double my size most of the time, because I'm never going to find something that's going to fit me and make me feel like it fits me, and that's fine. I'm willing to appeal to futility on the matter and just take the L on it. But yeah, you can respond to people literally however you want in regards to this. I just don't understand like why it bothers people, especially since there's so many like plus size like clothing options nowadays. But either way, it's like, respond how you want to somebody like that. I don't know, man.
This is rules and regulations for having a fat best friend. Get with it or get the fuck out. If you are straight size and your bestie is fat, do not offer them your clothes. Don't do it. The word confidence.
That's such a dick move. I'd fucking love to do that shit. I would love to have like a really, really fat friend who is down with like my fucked up humor, just so that they could also do the same shit to me, like fuck with me. It'd be kind of fun. Like, I feel like we would have fun tormenting each other. But yeah, I would be like, actually, I think most of my clothes would actually fit somebody like morbidly obese, because a lot of them are like XL type shirts. Like, I think my general size is like larges, but depending on how somebody's body's kind of laid out, maybe they could get them in there. I don't know. But I'm just saying, man, you know what? That would be funny as fuck. I would fucking love to do that shit. I'm a little bit evil sometimes. Like, I actually think that'd be kind of funny, offering like somebody like way overweight your clothing, but I bet it would fit. I bet it would fucking fit.
The word confidence, get it out of your vocabulary. Take it out. Don't say it. Don't pressure us into going for seconds. And don't be surprised if you offer us food and we say no. Keep it to yourself. And this is the kicker, bitch. Be mindful of where you're inviting us to. If they got tiny little chairs, I ain't going.
Okay, the middle two were stupid. I don't understand. And then the fourth one is like, I don't know, man. Where do you want to go? What's the differentiation with chair sizes these days? What's going on? Like, where are you allowed and not allowed to go? Just give them a list. Just give them a list.
Since we get accused of promoting obesity anyway, I thought I would just do it. So here are my favorite things about being fat. And just to give you my credentials, I'm a size 22 and I have been fat my entire life. My favorite thing about being fat, and I think one of the best things, is that I'm soft, squishy, and I smell really good. So like every time people hug me, I feel and smell like a marshmallow. My nieces.
What are marshmallows? What do they smell like? They smell like vanilla. Marshmallows are usually vanilla. I don't know about that. I don't know about that stink thing, dude, or smelling good, man. I don't know. But I got that squish too. Like, people can squish me all over, honestly. I'm pretty buoyant. It's all the water that's inside of my body. It makes up like what, 80% of my mass. But I don't know, man. Like, catch me at like a certain point in the day, like post workout, and I got that like hyperhidrosis. I'm wet, and not in a nice way, in like a disgusting way. Like, I literally will soak my t-shirts with sweat when I work out. I'll do cardio and it'll just be like, It's disgusting. So, you know, catch me at that point in time, you're just gonna be touching a squishy ball of slime, sweat, and sin.
Nieces and nephews tell me that I give the best hugs, and I know it's true. My whole body feels like a pillow. My second favorite thing about being fat is the curves of my body. This is a Venus figurine dating back to the Paleolithic era, depicting the ideal feminine. Bitch, I look like that. Not that you have to look like that to be the ideal feminine, but this is about fat people, so that's all that I have time for, but if you want more, let me know.
For the good.
Alright, well, I feel like you can still have the squish without glorifying obesity, but I don't know. I don't even think does that glorify obesity? The smelling thing was kind of weird, I'm not gonna lie. That was kind of weird.
Come with me to pole practice. So here's what I wore today. I wore a girlfriend collective set with my Birkenstocks and my SF State hoodie, as well as my pleasing bag. And in my pleasing bag, I had my water bottle, my pole grip, and my pleaser shoes that I like to dance in. I also have my wallet and keys and stuff too, obviously. Here's me in my studio. I was the only one there today, so it's pretty empty. Here's the locker area. Here is the...
I'm not gonna lie, dudes. I tried to do like a pole dancing class like once, because actually it's insane. Like you're literally like hanging on a pole, swinging your body around, doing like science and shit. Like it's fucking hard. My older sister invited me because she's actually like, she's pretty like good at like doing some of that. And I tried to figure it out and I was like, God dang, man, this is a workout. So I mean, like, hey man, good workout. Although, never wore those shoes. I think we were just doing it with like, you know, just barefoot or socks or something. Don't tell Quentin Tarantino that. But like, oh my God, I need to shut the fuck up. I was recently watching Kill Bill, and it was just feet. It was just feet. Anyways, but yeah, I never really had that. I think most of I've ever brought to any kind of workout is a water bottle, maybe some boxing gloves or something. But good workout. I don't know about the shoes though. I do not know about those shoes.
First room, with poles as well as aerial equipment. Those are crash pads. There's the merchandise they sell. Here's me in the studio. I like to practice in. It's called Studio Dark. Just the second room in the same studio. And yeah, I was the only one there today. Here's me doing some stretches. Please always do stretches before doing pole, or you could really hurt yourself. And yeah, here is the main thing I accomplished that day. I was able to climb the pole, which I'm always super proud of being able to do. And then I was able to let go with one hand, which is super fun. And yeah, I had a great practice. Thanks.
Not bad, man. Not bad. You're getting there. Soon, you know, you're gonna get shredded, man. You're gonna get shredded on that pole. I would be scared to break the pole. Like, I would actually be scared to just bonk it in a weird way and it would just go...
If you are attracted to fat people, or the person you're intimate with is a fat person, and you're too embarrassed to be seen with them in public or around your friends and family, you are a coward. Wah, wah, wah.
Totally true. Drop them. Drop them like a hat, my dude. If they are embarrassed of you in regards to your physical form, when it comes to that kind of thing, like if they're actually embarrassed of you or they don't want to, you know, have you around the family or whatever, like drop them. They're not worth it. They're literally not going to respect you. They don't have any respect for you then. So, meh.
Hi there, I'm here today because I'm experiencing some lower back pain.
It's probably because of your weight. Have you tried going on a diet?
I'm not interested in pursuing weight loss right now. I would like to see if there's something else behind the back pain. Could we maybe do an x-ray, or can you at least examine me?
Try weight loss and see if it helps. It can't hurt to try.
Doctors suck. Like, I've never had good experiences with doctors. They're pretty bad, and usually, like, I've had like no like appropriate assistance from the medical community, although a lot of my experience is in Canada, and Canada is not very good for medical. But when it comes to, like, you know, back pain and weight loss, yeah, there actually is merit to it. Like, you know, you being overweight and having back pain, there's merit to that. Doctors should assess you for whatever your concern is, as long as, you know, you're paying, it doesn't matter. But I do have to point out that there is actually a correlation with like you being overweight and like having back pain. You know, you just have more that you're lugging around, you're in more uncomfortable positioning, things like that. Your posture might not be great. You could try posture setting as well. And then also I have to point out, I was reading something interesting and I have to look back into it, but it was on the basis of cholesterol levels. Having high cholesterol can actually like cause more back pain or something to do with like basically like spinal diffusion. Like it's interesting. So I might try and pop that up if I can remember where I was reading that, but it's very interesting. But yeah, anyways, I don't know, man. It sucks.
Actually, it can do harm. Studies show that dieting is one of the most common predictors of developing an eating disorder.
Oh god. Oh my god. Let's have back pain forever then and not try. Like, you don't have to do extreme dieting either. You know, I get this, like, you don't want to have an eating disorder, but right now, if you're not in a physically well state, you do have to reassess what you're doing to put yourself in a more well state, you know? To put yourself in a better state of physical health. So there's a balance, like, you know, talk to a dietitian if that's your concern then. If you're actually that concerned, get a meal plan from a dietitian. They'll give you adequate nutrition. They won't give you weird eating disorder advice. And then that'll break you from that bubble. You don't have to do anything weird. You don't have to do any 1,200 calorie a day diets and running 6 miles a day or something. You can just live a healthy, balanced life. Like, find that balance. If right now you're going to the doctor, there might be an imbalance in your life.
I have already said I'm not interested in weight loss. I would like for you to examine my lower back to see if there are other solutions for managing or fixing the back pain.
Obesity is a common cause of back pain. There's no point in wasting resources.
I would like you to tell me what tests you would run and what treatments you would recommend if I were in a smaller body instead of a larger body. If you still won't do it, I insist that you note in my chart that you were denying me testing on the basis of my weight, and I'm also going to need a printed copy of that.
Get the printed copy just in case. Yeah, do all of that just in case, because that is actually important if they are denying you healthcare, like denying you a service that they provide for other people. But outside of that, like, there is an association with obesity and back pain, and if you don't want to lose any weight, then, you know, you could have a circumstance where, like, you're going to have back pain forever, you're going to need painkillers or whatever you're going to get, or you're just going to have to live with it and just live with pain. Like, it's just what it is. You know, like, you can't have a doctor just magically solve your problems. Why are you going to go to a doctor and look at pain management or, like, back pain management stuff when you can lose some weight and then maybe the back pain will become less bad? That's another thing. It's like you have to make a decision for your well-being. Like, you're not pursuing weight loss, you don't want to get an eating disorder. Talk to a dietitian, assess your diet. Maybe there's an imbalance in your diet. Maybe you do need to lose weight. Like, if you have back pain, it's kind of going to be what it's going to be if you don't make it change in some direction. You know? I don't know, man. I think it's just dumb. Doctors should test you for what you're concerned about. I've had doctors not test me for things I've been correct about and concerned about. I've had other people have the same situations with doctors, but that also means that you're going to have to look in on yourself and try and reassess your circumstances. And it might require something. If you're overweight, extremely overweight, it could mean that you're going to need to lose weight to solve a problem, including back pain.
Regardless of your weight or health status, you still deserve proper medical care and you deserve for your needs to be heard by your doctor. Let me know in the comments if this helped you and if you would like to see more content like this.
Anyways, my people, that is the video. Tell me what you think in the comments below and what you want to see next. And what's your experience with doctors? Personally, I am biased. I've had a very bad experience with doctors in Canada, and our healthcare system is suboptimal at best. So I have a bias regarding doctors. But at the same time, if I find that there's an issue with my physical health, I try and deal with it and manage it the best I can. You know, if that means I need to lose weight for something, weight loss, weight gain, whatever. Like, usually I try to just solve my own problems, and if that means losing or gaining weight, that's what's gonna happen. So that's just my opinion. Tell me what you think in the comments below, and yeah, that was it. Slater.